He's shown us before in the past, but we needed to be reminded. And he reminded us through Amanda Gorman and her amazing career-defining performance at the inauguration. Welcome to A Chosen CoverGirl, where we talk about living life full of joy, confidence, and faith, as well as everything in between. I'm your girl, Daniela. And today I am excited to talk about how God can change our lives in an instant and like in a moment's notice, at the snap of a finger and at the blink of an eye. If you guys are anything like me and you're hustling and you're grinding, but you find yourself asking God when, you're being committed, you're being consistent, you're staying faithful in the gifts and your talents that the Lord has blessed you with, but you still find yourself asking when. Like, when is the right door going to open? When is that perfect opportunity going to come along? And I'm here to tell you that I feel like the Lord is telling us, and has been trying to tell me at least, just keep at it. But if you're anything like me, you're still like, but when? And he's like, keep at it. And I'm like, but keep at it ain't telling me when. And I don't know how your relationship is with the Lord, but I know I have had some adult grown temper tantrums. Like temper tantrums. And I'm like, Lord, I'm just so tired of this. When? I don't want to hear keep at it. Keep at it is when. When is keep at it? And then what he does is he will just be like, you know what? Let me remind her, since her memory is so short. Let me remind them, since their memories are short. And then he's like, I am going to do it for you suddenly. And he's like, I'm going to do it for you suddenly. And then he shows us how he did it for Amanda Gorman suddenly. Suddenly, she became a household name. Suddenly, she went from having, a few thousand followers to millions of followers at the blink of an eye. It happened for her suddenly. And if you have not seen her amazing career-defining performance, then you definitely have to keep watching and see it for yourself here today. And if you have seen it, and you know that it's worth watching 1,000 times over. So check it out.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just is isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
All right, guys, as you can see, it's no wonder that this woman became a household name overnight. And she was rocking my favorite color, which is yellow. And I decided, in honor of her, I'm going to go ahead and throw on my yellow blazer that I absolutely love. And so, but separate and apart from that, I think we need to be reminded that she was prepared. Like, she was prepared for this moment. And that's the thing. I feel like that's what the Lord keeps trying to tell me, at least, and that I'm sharing with you guys. Keep at it. I think that's what he's saying when he's saying keep at it. He wants us to keep at it. And he wants us to remain consistent. He wants us to remain committed. He wants us to stay faithful and walk faithfully in the gifts and the talents that he's blessed us with. And he wants us to be prepared, because when that career defining moment comes, we need to be able to take advantage of it, and because it is going to happen suddenly. So when you're already prepared, you're already ready for the suddenly. So when we ask God, when, Lord, when, and he says, keep at it, that's what he's reminding us. He's reminding us to keep at it and be prepared when our suddenly comes. In honor of her, I'm going to rock my yellow blazer today. Woo! And not to mention the fact that yellow is my favorite color in the world. It just makes me so happy. Isn't it cute? I just love it. Oh, you guys, and I don't think you guys like, I need to, oh wait. I didn't do this side. Y'all know me. I just be, anyway, don't mind me. Anyway, my blazer is still hot. My blazer is still hot.